subscribe, leave a comment, like, and share. Thanks for support. Right here is John T. Lincoln. Right here. It's gonna be about a 21-minute train ride. Nice comfy chairs in there. It's got sport gym grab one. Here's a birthday party card right here.
Alright, I think you made it that time. Nicely done, thank you. Alright, everyone, please have your tickets out and available. And it is
Railroad Museum. Baltimore and Oregon, right there. It stands for. There's Bronx Mountain Claire. Bronx Mount Claire. There's a birthday car. Oh no, I hope those are tied down because when it's baby flying up to 100 miles an hour, it's going to be moving all that stuff. And right there is the jacking pad right there. And those things are called jacking pads right there to let you know. Railroad Museum right here at Bronx. I think all railroads are eventually museums. You know, it's a very modern one. Right there. Going to Baltimore and Ohio next.
Enjoy your ride.
I always do. Right there and then. Right here's my boy Marcus right here. Right there used to be a window right there back when I was a kid, I remember. Right there, that used to be class right there.
Sandra.
Right there, phone got 5 cameras right there. Really cool Android phone, 5 cameras.
Quick reminder again, there are no bathrooms on this train.
The proud sponsor right there, PBS Kids. You guys are now watching PBS Kids right here.
So that they don't fall. Even though we're going at the great beginning.
This right here is really known as a PBS Kids special.
I do ask you to remain seated through the train ride until the conductor and the provost allows us to exit the train safely.
There's only about PBS Kids because they're sponsors.
Above the doors, we'll see north and south. We'll be talking about different aspects of our little 1 mile excursion.
Yeah, these are the sponsor of this video, PBS Kids. In Harrisburg, it's WRTF. Here in Baltimore, it's NPT.
Sightseeing car that was
So you can go to NPT.
They ordered it in 1946 and completed it in 1948. The observation car.
South, north.
And for that car, when you're looking at the end of the rounded end of the car.
It's a very awesome
That will
cool
be,
ticker
of
here.
course, west. So on your right would be north, left would be south.
Sweet. Put all your
Somewhere
bags
where you
up there.
parked your car today, merchants and lawyers and the state legislature of Maryland finally approved the railroad Baltimore and Ohio to start building from Baltimore to its namesake, Ohio. The main reason, of course, was basically because of the canals being built.
Used to have lines here and lines.
Was the Erie Canal. Of course, the Potomac Canal had started construction and others along up and down the East Coast. Baltimore's a favorite
Right
port
there
because
is
we were
the
100 more
ocean.
miles inland because of the Chesapeake
Big ocean
Bay.
right there. Got his ticket in his
However,
backpack.
When the Erie Canal was completed, it made the products from coming out west, such as Ohio,
Got his speakers
a
and
much
announcements
easier
and
route
stuff.
to go through the Great Lakes down the Erie Canal to, of course, the Hudson River into New York. Baltimore is surrounded by hills, and except for, of course, the open bay, there's no real easy route west as far as rivers are concerned. They're shallow, rocky, and even today's technology would be difficult to build a canal. So the investors of Baltimore looked to England for what they called steam cars or steam engines. These steam engines first were produced, forced air down into the lines, and later they put wheels on it, and the next thing you know, you got yourself a locomotive in the late 1800s. And of course, Baltimore and Ohio wasn't the first railroad. There had been other railroads that were privately owned. And of course, the B&O was the first one to haul freight for public investors and farmers and people like that needed their products. And of course, passengers. So here we go, going west towards the first mile.
Going out west, baby.
As we're making our way west, you'll notice there's a lot of different cars in various states of need of repair. Eventually they will be cleaned up, repaired, and placed onto
There's a Hershey train we just
cannot
passed.
be seen because of their location. Immediately to yourself, you'll see some locomotives and some cars. One's a red in color, it's a snowplow, and
Got the heat on down here. Feels very nice. There's some temperature heat. It's old railroad car.
Other cars that you'll see along the right away will be again finally restored and placed on exhibit. As we're making our way, just passing Gary Street here, we're now going to see the shopping center on the north side. At one time, the north, this was where most of the shops were located. Anything you needed for a steam locomotive or building cars or bridges was all located right here. Over 30 different shops were located here. And of course, by the close of the steam era, this was no longer an area that the railroad needed. So they sold off the property and it was made into a shopping center. If you look at the far north end of it, you'll see one very long building. That represents one of the buildings that did survive. We have several of these along the way in this area, and the locomotive would be pushed into the west door and make its way east. Enter east and then end up at the west end. There's a turntable close to our roundhouse, and you turn it around and put it back together again. Of course, at one time in the height of the 1920s, there were over 3,000 people that worked here. They had their own fire department, their own police department, so it was kind of a city within a city. To our north, we're going to see a barn. It's going to be the Baltimore City Police Department horse barn. They have three horses.
Camped out there.
Larger than our regular
Put all
horse.
your Your own
They're
campus?
corporate sponsored, and one of them is 7-Eleven. So yes, the corporate place that's sponsored by 7-Eleven, nickname Slurpee. So the next building we see from that, or what's left of the building, is the tender shop, sometimes known as the tender kitchen. Well, I can understand why they would call it a tender kitchen, because in its heyday, when it was built in 1919, there was a glass block for walls on the north and south side. No doors on the east and west end, where you have that big crane there, you can still see survives. But this is the shop that the tenders that would
Horse stalls right there.
fuel for steam engine itself would be dropped off here and repaired.
There's a police horses right here when I'm passing.
Locomotive
Baltimore police horses. All the horses that policemen
Right there, you
use.
can't miss it, that's our restoration center.
Right there.
And you can see a lot of different cars as we move along the way here. They're going to be restored. When we had the roof collapse in 2003 at the roundhouse due to heavy snow, the restoration shop was built in 2005, and those locomotives that were damaged and cars getting were restored at this facility. So you can still see some of the construction equipment that we use here, keeping it for track repair and, of course, the restoration of other locomotives and cars. On our north side, we're going to start seeing some strange-looking cars. The two little pot cars are drag cars. When you make steel, there's a byproduct called slag. They'd be poured into that and transported elsewhere. The large pot car was actually a whole molten steel. To our south, we're going to see a beautiful mansion built prior to the Revolutionary War. And that's the Carleton family. They're the ones that allowed the females to build across their plantation at the time. The Carleton family, of course, were relatives to the man that helped celebrate the July 4th, 1828 celebration of completing the first mile of the railroad. James Gerald was the last living independent signer of our independence, and was 90 years old at the time, which is very unusual for that era to survive that long. But we have planted
Coming around.
first stone, which ironically now is a museum. As you make your way back to a gift shop, the first stone was uncovered several years after it was planted. The big celebration of July 4th, 1828, marking the first mile of the railroad. So in this area that we're in right now, this would be where several trains and cars would be lined up, parked, and moved in and eventually into the shopping center for repair.
First train ride right here, Austin Thomas.
Coming up on the south side, you'll see some more tracks that will be, if we could or are allowed to, there's a switch there that if we were allowed to be switched onto the original main line crossing
Good old tires doing that.
Falls River. It's the first major bridge that the BNL had built. It took them a little over 18 months to build it, but it's hard to believe from 1829 and 1830 they completed it, and it's still being used today by CL6 heavy locomotives and heavy freight cars. Occasionally we do see CSX cars along here. There'd be sometimes the garbage cars or the coal cars or the slow freight cars that CSX uses on this line. You might call it the pressure valve line because the slower trains will be coming through here, keeping the faster line in Pennsylvania. They'll form the Pennsylvania line free so that CSX can move the faster freight and passengers for Amtrak. And we do see a car sitting there now. Of course, they no longer have a caboose. There's what they call Fred. That would be, of course, a computer sitting on the back end of the coupler, sensing air brake velocity, help the train move along as necessary, telling the conductor and the engineer if there were any problems. Prior to that, of course, was the caboose. So straight ahead of us, and on the north side,
Video on the train.
is the, well, when I was a kid, it was called the junkyard. Now it's, of course, a restoration facility. CS6 still uses that as a place where they pick up metal that has been ground up, plastics and that. And
This guy's moving right here.
Used again for our cars and whatever else we us Americans need. Again, they no longer a caboose, you just got a flashing device there at the end. That's a small computer that senses if there's been a loss of air or any of the cars are misbehaving, and it will report it back to the engineer. In the old days, of course, it was cabooses, and that's why they would have usually windows at the very top. The people would sit at the top looking for any cars that were misbehaving or blue smoke indicating that the wheels were getting too hot. The actual journals would get too hot and start firing again, create blue smoke, so that was considered a hot box. And of course, in the later years, they would have the capability of pulling on the rope and dropping all the air out of the train so that the train would stop. Air brakes were invented with the idea that, unlike our cars where we put on the brakes, the train must actually pump air into the system that takes off the brakes. So if you use air, brakes come on. Safety procedure is still in existence today. Westinghouse helped develop the braking system. He wasn't the inventor, but he helped improve the braking system. On the south side, you see some railroad cars sitting on the ground. No, not only rail cars, they're actually, during the early diesel years, the switchers that were often used at the yards would be filling up a fuel, and this is where they would fill them up. The coal car, the water tower, and the coaling tower are all gone now. But at one time, they were all located along this railway. I also noticed we kind of got a hill toward the south side here. It wasn't really known how strong the early steam engines were. So, dug by hand, of course, they made the grade here less than 1% as they made their way west. Eventually, of course, they would hit the mountains and the grades ended up to be like 1.8 to 2%. Doesn't sound like much, but for a heavy train, that's a lot of grade to go up. Again, just past the Carlton Mansion, on the other side towards where the other line comes in, was where the Civil War troops, the Union troops that were stationed. Two cavalry units, one was Pennsylvania, one was Maryland, and their job, of course, was to protect the railroad from the Confederate forces. The one strange car on the north, it's like a coal car with some braces on the top, was used as an icebreaker. This breaker would be used to break off icicles that would form in the tunnels and, of course, outside the tunnels. And they would put that car in front of a locomotive that's breaking the icicles. The eldest locomotive you could see was an electric locomotive. That was a GG1. That was used by the Pennsylvania Railroad for many years. That particular locomotive is famous for falling through the floor of the Union Station there in Washington, D.C. It didn't stop properly and ended up on the basement of the Union Station. Now, this is 2 weeks before Eisenhower was to be inaugurated. So they just put some plywood over it, covered it up with some fancy carpet, and then 2 weeks after the inauguration, pulled up the floor and dragged it out. And the engine was repaired and served the Pennsylvania Railroad for another 40 years. Again, we've got the tender shop on our north side, glass blocks on the north and south sides, and open doors on either end.
There's a baseball field.
Pretty hot in here. So the south side you see, of course, part of Baltimore City. The city of Baltimore has a lot of different neighborhoods. This particular one was called Pink Town. The reason for the name of Pink Town is that one time there was a switch here, and the pigs would be driven off the car, down through the streets, into the slaughterhouses. I'm not sure if it's September or October when they celebrate their unusual title of Pink Town. For those that wish to tour the restoration facility, the next opportunity will be April 15th. Again in May and June, there'll be different dates in that time for a tour through the restoration facility. Really is amazing what our people can do with the few tours they have and the number of people they have to restore as many vehicles that we have, both cars and vehicles. Again, on our south side, we're going to be coming across a large parking lot. And that's our special parking lot, special events parking lot. It's used for things like Over Express, which is coming up in the end of November. But it's also the site where the horses used to be housed there. The barns are located there. Because our first power for moving our cars was horses. And later on, the steam engines were not allowed in the city, so the horses were still kept here to move cars one and two at a time down to the street of Pratt Street to the different warehouses, and eventually to the inner harbor. Of course,
Right there we got Boost Mobile right here, DTLR shoe store, dance place, and Dollar General. All the good. I love to shop here, daily basis. Very good place to.
We appreciate you riding with us today. I ask that you remain seated until the engineer gives us the conductor gives us the clear sign.
You know, a lot of people live in these awesome houses here. It's a good side of Baltimore City. I don't imagine what the bad side looks like.
Please take your time as you exit the train. Remember, there are 3 platforms in which you can see various other pieces of equipment. Of course, the building, the North Car Shop, which is on our south side here, coming up.
Really cool future condition here.
Century locomotives, the latter part of the steam era, as well as the early diesel. Some of the locomotives can actually get up into. So again, thank you for joining us today. Please drive home safely. We hope to see you soon.
Baltimore and Ohio train station, baby. That's it.
Hope you enjoyed today.
We're back at another museum. There's a Pullman right there, a Pullman car. Baltimore.
Some of the passenger cars were
I'm going to show you the Hershey, Pennsylvania train car.
Of course, on the beginning.
Right there's
And some of them actually were
Hershey Ware.
for private cars.
Baltimore Railroad Railroad Company.
And of course, now here, preserved at the railroad is no longer authorized on railroads anymore. Again, please remain seated until the conductor gives us the all clear, and then you can exit the train.
I've been seated the entire time. Flying my drone over. Let's get in. Nice lady.
Well, we could tune the horns and show some of you railroaders.
Please remain seated.
Remember that that's the signal for an all stop.
I hope everyone here remains seated the entire time.
We ask that you would That's all right. Some of you are model railroaders and rail fans know that the signal has been given for an all stop. Conductor is now, of course, putting in the ramp, so if you want to stand up and start exiting towards the door to exit, be our guest. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for your cooperation, keeping the kiddies in the seats.
You definitely should be recording the train. I kept all my kids in the seat. You stay in the seat, Austin?
He did stay in the seat.
You're a good boy. Uncle Kevin right here, showing you Austin right here.
That's fine.
Kev, take it easy.
Hi, buddy. Did you like the train ride?
You're on the way, Grandma. Usually when you say you're in the way, Grandma, it's...
Hi, buddy. Hi.
And if you love looking here at Austin, want to see more of Austin, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, a good comment, and share with your friends and family. And this is Austin's, baby Austin, Thomas, Texas. Austin Thomas grabs first. We grabbed Austin Thomas right here. And right there is Thomas, Tom Sr.
I'll get it done.
And that's a cut now. Okay, right here. This I want to tell you real quick. It's brought to you by PBS Kids here in Baltimore. It's MPT, proud sponsor of Kevin Grab and the Railroad Museum. Kevin Grab Life here on YouTube. Here in Harrisburg, Cowboy, Pennsylvania, it's WITF.org, but here in Baltimore, it's MPT.
Hi, buddy.
Proud sponsor of the Kevin Grab Life show. Kevin Grab Life.
Are you on the train?
YouTube.com/Kevin Grab Life to get more of this awesome content right here. We're gonna let this awesome guy right here who got the railroad. This is the guy who drove the train?
Oh, I don't drive. I just talk about it until I can't talk no more.
Oh, you're the one who knows your voice the entire time. Your voice sounds different over the loudspeaker.
Yeah, well, it tends to make it either higher or lower.
Yeah, but what say would you say? Oh, I want to ask you this, good. You ever thought about making a recording of your voice? Like a recording of that? Because you should sell a recording of what you say on the train to the museum.
We actually have a professional do that, but unfortunately, the recording is so low to start doesn't match up with our speed of our
Oh, that
locomotive.
was nice that you do it.
But though, because the speed of the locomotive is different every time.
Usually the condition of the track, you know, if it's wet or dry, and
Oh,
how many people are actually in the car.
Dad, you hear that?
Along, sir, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I
service the cars.
hate to I'll let you go through, but I need to get through too because you're gonna call security, I guess. But right here.
No, not really.
Okay,
Maintenance.
okay, maintenance. Okay, you call maintenance for me. Okay. Okay, well, Marcus, you did a good job driving the train, man. So you drive it. I guess that's the front of it down there.
Yeah.
I see this. Well, they usually keep in these pockets here like that. Do you know what's in there?
Probably trash now.
Yeah, just a bag or something.
Normally that would be where you your tickets to the conductor.
Oh yeah, here's one too. I don't know if I want to see if there's any tickets in them. Like maybe get as a souvenir. So, doesn't look like there's anything in any of the bags. Okay, did a good job, Marcus.
Thank you.
As always. Want to see more of Marcus? Subscribe, give this video a like, comment, post it on all social media, and the Baltimore, Ohio, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff page. Also on the website, post this video, share us on the everything. Have a great day, and we're cutting off in 3, 2, 1, and please show your support for this video by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and pushing the bell notification to get new notifications whenever I post a video. Thanks for the support.